to be. Bobby, Ronnie, can you help carry her?
Why not? I've been carrying her around all night.
Oh my goodness.
Holy Mother in Heaven.
Holy crap!
What? The reviews are good. What don't they like?
That was put on a show.
Boston Globe says if you loved Oklahoma, stay there as long as Robin Hood is running in Boston.
How about this? Calls to mind Walt Disney's Pinocchio. Because its stars wooden ought to be hung by a piano wire and swallowed by the first whale that enters the Boston harbor.
Who said that?
It's a Christian Science monitor.
Carmen, you're the producer. I've sunk last year's profits from my lingerie line show. There's gotta be something in the papers we can use.
Let me consult with the writing team. Georgia, Aaron, does the word debacle have two meanings?
No.
Well, that's a shame. Critics. Who'd make a living by killing other people's dreams? I mean, what kind of man would take a job like that?
What kind of slob would take a job like that?
Who could be mean enough, base and obscene enough to take a job like that? Here's something in the Herald that might be good. Formerly married composer and lyricist Aaron Fox and Georgia Hendricks have provided film star Jessica Crenshaw with a star vehicle that ought to be driven off a cliff.
What kind of mom would raise her boy like that?
Want her baby to destroy like that? Who could be driven up, hard up, or working up to want a job like that? Oh, kind of low down, dirty bum. What kind of swine is scurvy scum? Loathsome as they come, I wonder.
What kind of man would want a job like that?
What kind of butts would make you nuts like that? Who could be thinking of, mentally singing of, who'd want to grow to be everyone's enemy? Critics are hated, so it's sorry, tell me what kind of man would want a job like?
Hey, get a load of this! The Cambridge Patriot says, considering the talent and experience of the veterans involved, Robin Hood is sure to be a huge Broadway. Smash.
What kind of genius has a mind like that? So perspicacious, wise and kind like that. Far from his mother's knee, she must be thrilled to see how he grew up to be such brilliant company. Refined and reflective, we're completely objective. When it lifts off your heart to meet a man like
Yeah, that's all well and good, but the Cambridge Patriot is not the Boston Globe. The Globe is the review we needed.
Funny none of them mentioned Jessica fainting.
She fainted during the bows when the critics dashed out of the theater to dash off their post-mortems. Face it, we've gotten our notices and we've been given notices.
Afraid you're right.
No, you two are just oversensitive because you wrote the show. The first show that my husband and I produced was savaged out of town, but we rolled up our sleeves, did a major rewrite, and brought that show to Broadway. And that show, my friends, was Kiss Me, I'm Irish. Closed before the audience opened their playbills. But the point is, this is only round one. This is a Cindy and Carmen Bernstein production. We decided to go to New York, not Daryl Brady of the Boston Globe.
So we're still shooting for Broadway.
Aaron, Georgia, you keep writing tunes that bounce. Olivia, you keep writing checks that don't.
Very nice, but until a leading lady gets out of the hospital, who knows what happens next?
She's just under observation. I'm sure she'll be out by the morning.
Is there no limit?
Sounds like our director.
Is there no limit?
She got such horrendous reviews.
Is there no limit,
I asked you.
to my unbridled brilliance? Chris, where were you tonight? I sunk a lot of money into the show, and as our director, you owed all of us to be here tonight.
Oh, be still your foolish now. Nothing to be gleaned by watching one show with a fraudulent audience on opening night. I went for a walk. Passed by the theatre of the Holy Cross. Went in wildly spiritual. I tell you, those Catholics really know how to put on a show. And right there, in the middle of the Eucharist, I had an epiphany. At this stage in the life of any musical, one should refrain from inventing something brilliant, but simply eliminate all that's awful. What, I ask you, that fear of contradiction is the most awful thing in our show?
Jessica.
Jessica, of course. Carmen, I came here to convince you to get rid of our star, only to have the cast inform me that she's in the hospital. I see the hand of the Lord in this.
Miss Bernstein, there's a phone call for you in your office.
Thanks, Joni. That's probably my husband calling.
Where was Sydney tonight, Carmen?
He's in New York, booking us a theater and knowing my husband. Also booking us a soprano who doesn't know how to dance, but knows how to move.
You can joke about it.
It's easy to joke about marriage when men like you and Sydney don't take it seriously.
There's no comparison. I never did more than flirt with any woman in any cast once you and I got married.
Barbara O'Brien?
She was an usher. And that was after you moved out.
Oh, so you finally looked up from your music and noticed I was gone.
Joni, you're the cast manager, the stage manager. How is the cast taking the reviews we got?
They decided to dress to the nines and throw a combination opening and closing night party.
Defeatists, the lot of you. You've yet to hear my plan of action, but hear it ye shall. Joni, come help me watch you move the piano. What plan? You think she wants us to go to Broadway using an understudy?
At least they'd still have Bobby in the title role.
And that's what matters, right? I mean, the whole reason you teamed up with me again is you could rekindle your romance with our leading man.
Aaron, when I signed up for the show, I had no idea Bobby was in it.
Then why, at our very first rehearsal, did you walk right up to him and say,
Hi, Bobby!
Hi, sweetie. Well, looks like we're going to be heading back to New York a little sooner than we thought, but if you and I are going back together, this is one flop that's a big hit with me.
A brief demonstration of what's been wrong with our show right from its very first love song.
you mean thinking of him? That's one of my best songs in the show.
One of our best songs.
See, Georgia agrees with me.
Nonetheless, I've had a problem with it since the very first day of rehearsal. What song is this?
The one with the new lyrics Georgia wrote about me.
About Rob Hood.
Precisely. Aaron, play. Georgia, sing. Joni, put her in lines Q5.
Like Q5? Oh, this is silly. I haven't sung on a stage in years.
Just sing.
Thinking of him. Thinking of him. Sometimes it seems I spend every moment of my waking day thinking of him, making him laugh. Sometimes making him strong. Sometimes making him feel someplace in the light is his. Telling him just how special he is. Thinking of him. Thinking of him. Telling the truth when nobody's willing to tell him the truth.
Chris, if you say something's been wrong with that tune since the first rehearsal, you will have to tell me what.
It's that we ever allowed Jessica Cranshaw to sing it. Now, look here, everyone. I think it's a crying shame that our leading lady collapsed at tonight's performance. She might have done it weeks ago and saved us all months of misery. But the cavity that Jessica has created must be appropriately filled.
Oh, may I speak? As Jessica's understudy, I'm terrible taking over under these circumstances.
Oh, no need to feel terrible, Vicky. But no need, because you're still going to be the understudy. To Georgia! I don't know, Chris. You know the score and the script better than anyone else. You sing the songs from your heart because that's where the words came from. I realize it's been quite some time since you've traded in your pair of tap shoes for...
Excuse me, but speaking for those of us in the cast, I really think Nikki should get the role. She's talented and dedicated.
And since you're Nikki's understudy, if she gets the lead, then you get her part.
Well, yes, that too.
Nice try, honey. But either George is in or I am out. What do you say, Olivia? I'll put my money where his mouth is. Laundry first. Eric, I assume this move more than meets your approval?
No, to be honest, it doesn't.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
I have my reasons.
You always have.
Besides, this debate is pointless if Jessica shows up tomorrow.
Heaven help us all. Her performance was worse than ever this evening.
Jessica Crenshaw will never be better than she was this evening.
But she was horrible.
Oh, I know. But still, Jessica Crenshaw will never be better than she was this evening. She's dead. That was the hospital on the phone. In terms of future performances, Jessica Crenshaw now has a conflict.
What happened?
They wouldn't tell me.
Chris, do you want to say a few words to the company about Jessica? Well, shall we observe a minute of silence? To match the audience's response to Jessica's first number?
Chris.
All right. Let's all form an acting pyramid. No, Bambi, you're blocking the entire right side of the house. People, Jessica was part of our company and now we part company. And I'm sure we'll all remember her in our thoughts and in our resumes. And as lesbians, I know you would all like to express your sorrow, both as a tribute and as an acting exercise. Sasha, F sharp minor.
Don't tell her fans to change their plans, the woman's dead.
the Greater Boston Police. I'm assigned to the Homicide Division. And, oh, it's an honor to be standing on the stage with each and every one of you. Sorry if I've interrupted your rehearsal, but let me assure you, I don't want my own work to delay your production reaching its home on Broadway that it genuinely deserves. In fact, I saw Robin Hood in previews, and may I say that with the exception of the late Miss Jessica Crenshaw, that you're all such wonderful performers.
Thank you.
And what a great score.
Well, I appreciate that, Lieutenant.
On behalf of my half of that compliment, thanks as well.
Oh, you're more than welcome. I've done a little bit of community theater myself. Oh, no, nothing that fancy. In Barnhouse was very well received. And in Midsummer's Night Dream, my bottom got a very favorable review.
Wait one moment. You say you're from Homicide?
Why yes. Based on the preliminary autopsy, it's clear that Jessica Crenshaw was murdered.
And what are they doing with the killer? I mean, does he get some sort of trophy or Pontiac convertible? Cressa!
Great. What killed her?
Hydrocyanic acid, commonly used in electrogel plating, as well as in a gas chamber in San Quentin. It was in capsule form, which is the reason why nobody realized that she'd been poisoned, until the capsule dissolved in her stomach, starting a chemical reaction that created her own personal gas chamber, internally.
Horrible.
Now, working backwards from when the capsules dissolved, we know she must have taken the very final minutes of this evening's performance.
Couldn't she have poisoned herself?
Trauma at the back of her throat suggests otherwise. Now then, may I ask who's in charge here other than myself?
Oh, permit me, Lieutenant, but I'm the critically acclaimed director, Christine Belling, and I'll be blocking your investigation.
Well, I hope that's not the case, but if you need to wrap things up to cast, go right ahead.
Company, I know you all give Georgia the support she needs as she steps into the late Miss Cranshaw's shoes.
That's brilliant.
As one would expect from me. All those ready to press forward with Robin Hood and Georgia, give me a show of hands.
That's it? Listen, people, life is full of setbacks and disappointments, but with Georgia as our lead, we've got ourselves a real shot. This show's going on. Are you with me?
You know, if we leave now, we can make it back to the last train headed to New York.
Let's go!
But stop! It's clear that every one of you isn't perfect for the condition, so the show must go on.
Why?
Because, as old as time itself is a grand tradition, and the show must go on.
Forget it.
I've got a contract, you sign a contract, don't read the contract, and I will count to 10, and then I'll sue you. Oh yes, I'll sue you, and when I sue you, you'll never work again.
Come on, you can't do that.
Who is the equity representative?
I am. Mrs. Bernstein, as equity deputy, I must warn you. Any further threats and you'll be brought
Oh,
on
shut
charges.
up, Elaine!
The name is Bambi. Mother.
All right, let's put it this way. For the backers' sake, I got your permission to let the show go on. The show must go on. The show must go on. 'Cause I say the show must go on.
No way.
I can't believe I'm hearing this. I won't believe it. Putting on a musical has got to be one of the most fulfilling things a person could ever hope to do. Why, you're all heroes. You're a special kind of people that show people live in a world of their own. The audience take plenty, you sit there and clap. Did you know your gift is lost to me?
Show people.
Listen, Robin Hood should really go on.
Lieutenant, may I speak to you for a moment? My name's Nikki.
Harris, Miss Nikki Harris. I read your bio through several times through the other night on the bus ride home. Oh, might I say, I found your performance to be particularly wonderful. It was just lovely.
Well, thank you.
Lovely.
Well, thank you.
Oh, I'm crazy about your little vibrato.
You're very kind. Anyway, last night, Miss Pronto asked me to coach her on her lines, and of course I said I'd be glad to help.
Oh, that's so like you.
Well, I'm also her understudy, or at least I was. I guess I'm Georgia's now. Well, but I was coaching her on her lines, and you see, these 3 death threats fell out of her script. I'm afraid my fingerprints are all over them. But you see, the words and letters are cut and pasted onto the paper, like curved finger scissors or something. I would imagine.
You're murdering the score, but I'll murder you. If you don't quit, you'll drop legit.
Can you tell anything from them?
Well, they seem pretty negative in spirits.
Yes, of course.
Oh, you were hoping for more of the Arthur Conan Doyle version. Well, these notes reveal very little, except the fact that the man that sent them was in his early 30s, 6 feet 4 in height, wears a pewter ring, served on the Merchant Marine, and despite being right-handed, is known by all of his friends as being lefty.
However did you know that?
Oh, I didn't. I thought you guys could tell I was acting. I mean, if I could get all of that from just those 3 letters, that'd be amazing.
Gee, for a second even I was impressed. Well, what do you say if we go across the street and have ourselves one slobber knocker of a wait for the late and less than great Jessica Crenshaw? Drinks are on me.
Just wait a minute. I'm sorry to say, but this theater is quarantined. All exits are guarded and none of you can leave. Believe me, I'm sorry, but emergency services will be supplying cots and meals for everyone.
Excuse me, I think the talented members of this cast are entitled to a night off.
The talented members, and even you, Elaine.
Listen. Tell me if I'm wrong here, but Jessica Crenshaw never left the stage during the show's last 10 minutes. If that's the case, then I'm sorry to say, but she must have been murdered by one of you. I've never had a case with this many suspects, and I can't have each and every one of you followed around the clock. It's better I keep you here under lock and key until I solve this crime.
You're taking the law into your own hands, Chalky.
Well, I mean, that's sort of what I'm paid to do. I mean, that's why I've got this badge and my own gun. But being sequestered here will help you focus on fixing the show.
Fixing?
Keep your hands off me, you hear?
Who's that?
Sounds like my husband on his meth behavior.
Guess he left New York.
Yeah, lucky New York.
Well, isn't this peachy? You all waited up for me. Johnny, I'm still wearing my coat.
Sorry, Mr. Bernstein. Sydney, it's been an awful night.
I hear you, Chris.
And I've been turning in my resignation.
I don't hear you, Chris. How are you holding up, Olivia?
Oh, can't complain.
That's right. You can.
Welcome back to Boston, Sydney.
Well, hello.
It's me, Sydney, your stepdaughter.
Oh, sorry about that. On.
Bambi.
And last and not least, Mrs. B, my junior partner and lesser half.
Let's get this over with, Sydney.
What? You expect me to be upset? I left you in charge of opening night and returned to find a murdered leading lady, deadly reviews, and a buttercup who says I can leave the
Well, it looks like you arrived at just the wrong time for you and just the right time for me, Mr. Bernstein.
Excuse me?
Lieutenant Frank Shot of the Greater Boston Police Homicide Division. Now listen, folks. You should go about your various tasks as if you weren't just at the scene of a homicide. I want you guys to head downstairs where Detective McNoll will be waiting for your pertinent information. I want you to give him your name, your address, and your 8x10 glossy. And I'll be speaking with each and every one of you in the morning. Pleasant dreams.
Lieutenant, I can't be a suspect. I was in Manhattan when Jessica got murdered.
Oh, can you prove that?
It so happens I was keeping company with a young actress on Sutton Place. If I give you her name, it will ruin her reputation.
Well, your chivalry is touchingly convenient.
Lieutenant, I have many influential friends in your city.
Well, too bad. You're in Boston.
Will you be wanting me any further, Lieutenant?
No, but I do have some questions for your boyfriend.
I don't have a boyfriend.
Oh, well, if that's the case, I would like to take you into my confidence regarding this investigation.
Why is that, Lieutenant?
Well, because if I don't really see a reason for us to keep on talking.
You can take me into your confidence with confidence, Lieutenant.
Something appears to be very wrong here. I just met an entire opening night cast who seems very eager to close.
Well, I can see how they might feel. They all left great hit Broadway shows just to work here in Boston. I mean, I've never worked outside of the city, and Bambi's had to fight her mother every step of the way just to be in the chorus, but the rest of the cast are overworked and underpaid. Though surely not enough to drive any of them to murder.
Well, just keep in mind that I'm within arm's reach at any time of the day or the night.
Do you think I'm in some danger?
No, it was a completely unrelated thought.
You live with danger every day, don't you, Lieutenant?
Oh no, most of the time it's just paperwork and procedure. You see, Miss Harris, detectives don't have an opening night. We make our entrance after the curtain has closed on somebody else's life.
Well, but it's a calling, isn't it? Like a doctor or a teacher.
Or an actor.
I suppose. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing anything else with my life. It's not wrong to be married to one's work, is it?
No, not at all. But it's no honeymoon either. I love my job, I really do. And if I say so myself, I'm good at it too. I catch the bad guys most of the time. So it's a good life, a perfectly good life, not exactly sublime. When I finish my work and I crawl into bed, I reflect as I turn out the lights, that the life that I lead is a little bit gray, with its lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights, lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights.
It's reassuring to have such a dependable schedule, like matinees every Wednesday,
Or brisket and broad meat each Thursday.
with your friends.
I like my pals, the guys on the force. We're not very social, they're all married of course. Sometimes we go bowling or have a few beers. So it's a fine life, a perfectly fine life. I'd give it 2 cheers. But sometimes I think at the end of the day I've read the last burglar is right, that the life that I lead is a little bit gray, with its lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights, lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights.
But your acting roles don't make aim for a change.
Oh, Miss Harris, each May 23rd to the 12th of June, when I turn my life over to the shallow street plays, that's more than a vacation for me. That's an overture of hope. The curtain rising and falling on the greatest joy of my life. But the rest of my life, the life that I lead is a little bit gray. There are plenty of road days and not many cars. Mostly lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights. Oh, Miss Harris, don't mind if I seem foreign here, but can I take you out for the evening?
Oh, I'd be delighted. You said we're not allowed to leave.
Darn it.
And while you chat away, your eyes will bat away.
Come on, you gotta do that jump. Really? Come on. No, I don't know. Otherwise, you're jumping. Oh, her, she's doing it right. Why can't you do that? It's easy. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Jump, click your heels. No, when you're
Sorry, you're all being very patient, but I can't do this.
Honey, I've seen you do this.
In a previous life.
Would somebody like me to try?
I promise they'll adore you almost as much as I do.
I can go right from a ground to Tay into a split.
And you're looking just great.
Impossible, I know, but somehow I do it.
If one of you is the killer, will you please take her next?
Folks, Detective Barron is here with the last delivery of clothes from the hotel rooms. Claim your bundles downstairs. And in 1/2 hour, Lieutenant Chalky will begin questioning all foes and tenders.
And Lieutenant, rising from your interrogation chamber to grace us with your presence.
I thought I'd stretch my legs. I've been in that green room all day.
At least you got to sleep in your own bed last night.
Sorry about that.
I intrigue you, don't I, Lieutenant?
Why, yes. Both as a director and a possible murder suspect.
Lieutenant, I got what you wanted.
Oh, did you get the clothes I ordered from Miss Harris?
Mostly greens and blues. You trying to set some kind of trap for her?
No, I'm trying to match her eyes.
Heads up, I'm opening the upstage curtain.
Excuse me, mind telling me who you are and how you got in here?
Oh, as a member of the press, I'm sent to record to Lieutenant Darryl Grady of the Boston Globe.
After the review that you gave to Robin Hood, I'm surprised to show your face here, of all places.
I was mystified as you. The show's producers called and asked me to pay a visit.
That's right, Mr. Grady, Farmer Bernstein. You have our thanks for dropping by, if not for your review.
Listen, I tried my level best to say about your production. I praised the choreography and the element of the kid's school Nikki,
Harris.
well, I'm afraid it's all history now. Condolences the loss of your star and of your show.
When you interviewed me last week, I told you we're going to Broadway no matter what you wrote about us.
That's right. We're keeping Robin Hood open. And once we've ironed out the kinks, we're asking you to re-review it, with Georgia Hendricks as the lead.
Georgia Hendricks, you're a lyricist. She has been in the show for years. That's some story. And yes, there is a precedent for reappraising a show with a new lead. All right, I'll re-review your show tomorrow night.
Tomorrow?
Listen, it's the best I can do. Also, please try to keep in mind how many shows can survive 2 bad reviews from the Globe in a week.
Carmen, go tell the cast we've got 24 hours to hold a week of rehearsals. If we fail this, you live to regret it.
You know, you've always thought you were such a big shot. You're not. You're just big.
Oh, good day, Lieutenant.
Oh, you just made it one.
That dress was nice as dry, Nikki.
Why, thank you.
Oh, and Mr. Darryl Grady. I love to offer my thanks for the kind words you wrote.
Please don't misunderstand, Miss Harris. But I'm trying to practice with the artists I review.
Mr. Grady, I thought that
Say,
of a
it
Robin.
didn't stand out most otherwise abundantly misguided production.
Why, of course. But I do have to say that your review of Robin Hood was needlessly cruel and, how do I put it, misguided.
Well, I'm not sure you know how to judge acting, Lieutenant.
Oh, why, of course. You're the expert. But I regret to inform you that I'm placing you under arrest for the crime of murder.
What? Have you lost your mind?
Any statement you make can be taken down to writing and used against you in a court of law.
This is insane. What are you saying?
Why, I'm just saying my best lines from Miss Agatha Christie's Murder at the Vic Garage. I played Chief Inspector Nick Slack for the Nicktown New Players 2 summers ago. Oh, did you think that I was being real, Mr. Grady? I don't know if you know how to judge acting. You can go now.
Come on, Grady, right there.
Swell acting, Lieutenant, and not just on a community theater level. I mean college.
Well, thank you.
How is the investigation going, if I may ask?
Well, I've been over the show's financial records, and it appears that everybody's working for the same equity minimum. Not just newcomers like you or Bambi, but also your stars as well. Listen, this is no place to talk. Let's you and me get out of
You
here.
won't let me leave?
Darn it.
Lieutenant, you must clear the stage immediately. I've just been informed I have less time to reinvent the show than Moses had to cross the Red Sea. And he had God on his side.
Hey, is this true?
I'm getting reviewed tomorrow. Nikki, go fetch Bambi. I have no choice but to reblock in the same boat here and now.
Ooh, we gotta see this.
Why? You think something's going to happen?
No, this is my favorite number. Although,
What?
oh, it's nothing, but,
What?
oh, shoot me with my own gun if I'm stepping out of line here, but
What is it?
I don't think simply changing the choreography is gonna save this number. The music itself is sort of lackluster. It lacks
Yes?
luster. 3 women on a rowboat that's sinking fast, on their way to the federal courthouse in Wichita. It's great stuff. It's your 11 o'clock number, but still, I wonder, could we hear a bit of it?
Sure. Sasha? Lady, sing through the attack, would you?
In the same boat, in the same sea, looking inside, the tide keeps rising. Carry a ship, carry a sail, carry a soul on the whole horizon. We are not discouraged. We do the end, that you're likely to win. Take it on, when you're in the same boat.
You see, the music itself is sort of mild-mannered.
Strangely enough, I agree. We needed a completely new composition. One that's catchier than Pink Eye.
Oh, you want a hit?
Yes, and not from one of your failed shows either, Erin. Not from your eine kleine Talkmusik.
Listen, Chris, if you expect me to come up with anything, you'll have to find me a little bit of private time with my piano and my writing partner.
Your writing partner is now my dancing partner and the star of the show. If she doesn't get the saloon number under her belt by tonight, we're all finished.
Listen, Miss Spelling's rehearsal takes priority, so if you need to change costume, go right ahead. Everybody else, head on downstairs where Detective O'Farrell will be fingerprinting the entire company and crew. That is, unless one of you would like to reveal why you murdered Miss Jessica Crenshaw? Well then, if that's the case, let's clear the stage and give our composer the solitude that he needs. That should give you a few minutes alone with the piano, Mr. Fox.
Long, yeah.
You know, it must be hard to write when your writing partner...
Is otherwise engaged.
You know, I've always wondered this, but what comes first, the music or the lyric?
Same answer as the chicken or the egg.
So the lyric.
No. Not all great melodies need a lyric or a lyricist.
So then, how do you start?
Well, it can start with a note, which can become a phrase. Then you try hitting words off each branch, like trimming a tree.
Sounds easy enough. Really?
Well, don't talk about, you'd have to say,
fits like a glove. Or as certain as push comes to shove, you will pine for the woman you're constantly thinking of.
You see the problem? Dangling participle. So I suggest staying away from love at all costs.
And don't mention your life. Or you'd have to say, cuts like a knife strikes when you find that you're missing your...
Missing? What? You were going on about what you were missing.
I miss the music. I miss the song. Since she's not with me, it comes out wrong. It doesn't matter how hard I try. I lost the music. I don't know why. You may have before I met her. I walked alone, but if you ask me what I prefer, I'd say the music I wrote with her. When you're writing a song and you've a partner, the room is filled with jokes and chatter. She says something, you say something. She writes a line, you play a band. But when you're writing a song without a partner, that's a completely different matter. No one tells you that's not funny. No one says let's cut that part. No one makes you better than you are. I can't pretend. I miss the music. I miss my friend. No need to ask me what I prefer. I choose the music I wrote with her. I liked the music I made with.
Aaron. Oh, sorry, I interrupted.
No, it appears that I'm the guilty third party here. Mr. Fox, thank you for all your insights. Miss Hendricks, good luck on your upcoming number. We'll speak later.
I forgot my lyric. Can you believe it? Me?
Well, you're not the lyricist, now you're the star. How does it feel being back up on the boards?
Terrifying. Thrilling. I've missed the stage.
Come on, Georgia, we gotta do that right away.
I'll swing.
It's our last chance to land the number before Jack and for the night. Come on, let's go.
Aaron, I'm starting to think you're right when you said I was wrong for this.
Georgia, break a leg.
Thanks. You can finish the song without me?
I'm a one-man band. I miss my
the new school mark.
Aunt Odell, ain't it funny how a cowardly lawman from back east knows so much about the man I plan to brand? I'm gonna round up that raw-blooded, hog-tied, it's fancy Miss Nancy. He made a getaway. He left me flat away. At times like this, a modern should gallop that way. When love goes this way, don't blow your bliss away. You might find out he's just about a hug and kiss away. No matter which way,
lead. The scene is now dynamic and uplifting, and you'll leave the audience chanting for that bit in Act 2. And this set, who doesn't love red?
And as long as we're all in oppositions, I want to change our pose for the Act 1 curtain.
Oh, just mind me if you will, but I've had the chance to talk with each and every one of you, and you all seem like a terrific bunch of people. But unfortunately, it appears that I've uncovered some very compromising evidence, and I may have a few additional questions here for the person here who...
Lieutenant, energy call from headquarters.
Oh, sorry. Miss Belling, go on with what you were doing.
Yes, right. So as I was saying, I want to change our pose.
Lights! As I thought, as you were. It looks like everybody has something to hide except for Miss Harris. Oh, and by the way, this briefcase is empty except for a roasted chicken. Why, yes, here you go. Now then, I've been over the show's financial records and made a few phone calls, and what do I turn up with? A murdered leading lady who is working for half of usual firm salary, a distinguished director who despised the late Miss Jessica Crenshaw, yet still slaved to make the show work all the same, a dance choreographer who gave up the chance to work with Balanchine to come here to do song and dance for spare change, ex-partners in marriage and music who inexplicably reunite though they no longer work in harmony, a one-woman band named Olivia Shapiro, who despite having no prior experience in theater, suddenly starts singing payment after payment after payment into the show, and a company that celebrates when their show is torn to ribbons by critics because this means that they can finally go on to better jobs in Broadway. What does this tell me? That Sid Bernstein has been blackmailing each and every one of you. Even you dancers?
Okay, when I was first starting out, Sid Bernstein tried to make my audition a private one, but I walked away.
But I mean, what about your chorus boys? Y'all seem like a bunch of clean-cut fellows. I mean, what could you have possibly done that you don't want your folks back at home to know about?
Lieutenant, I have to think people have things about themselves they'd like to keep to themselves.
Agreed. But I'm not here to uncover all your dark secrets, just the one that murdered Miss Jessica Crenshaw.
People, I had no idea this was how Sidney was getting you to work for so cheap. He's the one who handles the negotiations.
Well, thankfully, Sid Bernstein won't be able to deal his way out of breaking the law. I can assure you that he won't be blackmailed anymore. But you're still a murder suspect. Now then, you may have joined the show for the wrong reasons, but you signed a contract.
And don't forget it.
And Olivia deserves a return on her investment.
Thank you.
And because for the best way for me to solve this murder is for me to keep the heat turned up on this pressure cooker of a theater. And because this could be a really good show. Take it away, Chris.
Very good. So, company, I want to change.
Heads up! We're striking the set.
What? No, Joni, I still have yet to fix our pose. Sorry. Never mind. Let's have the last four parts. Bobby? A 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm heading that way.
Why is there no curtain?
We're having a little trouble with it.
I want it closed now.
All right, how's this?
Did you see something go up as the curtain closed?
Oh no, Joni, open the curtain quickly!
Curtain!
Joni, whatever you do, don't close the curtain!
Now, Joni, open the curtain!
I think we fixed the curtain.
You better make that a blackout. I'd say she did it.
Ah, she did it, 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 I know. With laughter she hung it, and after she strung it, he swung like a yo-yo, I know. The facts are not really surprising, the morals are probably loose. She did it, she did it, she did it, then hit it, and now she is on the loose. Down. Can't sleep either, knowing that someone in this company is going to change my looking.
But I thought I said Aaron and George sneaking around. Yeah, so my routines on office clothes had to do with the director. And they're all quite mad. I could easily believe that they didn't.
Ah, they did it, they did it, they did it, they did it. I've worked with those losers before. They went right ahead and they slaughtered two people the same way they slaughtered the sword. Well, this is the end of their output. Their future is never the thing. They did it, they did it, they did it, then hit it, and soon they'll be going to sing, sing. Although she appears with the daughter and habits and sovereignty bringing the family inside of the soul. She did it, she did it, they did it, they did it, they did it, she did it, now she is off to the loose. Sing on down, sing.
Boys and girls, rise and shine. We'll start with a new version of the same boat. Your breakfast orders are waiting downstairs, and Lieutenant Charles is here.
Morning, folks.
Ah, welcome back, Lieutenant, to your marathon production of No Exit.
I've just come back from Sid Bernstein's autopsy.
Oh, did they try to stake my goodness off just to play it safe? Chris, not in front of his widow. How are you picking up Herman?
Well, sent up for breakfast, and nobody thought to tell me. Well, let's at least be considerate of his daughter.
Stepdaughter. And even though I was his very own step flesh and step blood, he was as cold to me as he was to my mother. Breakfast is going to be cold if you don't eat it now, of course. Well, at least this time all of us have an alibi. Everyone was standing around the stage when Sidney got the old heap-ho.
No, the coroner said that Bernstein was struck on the back of the head before he was killed. Somebody must have knocked him out. Backstage, before we rehearsed George's number. They then must have wrapped the counterweight rope around his neck, knowing that when the curtain closed, the rope would finish him off, if he wasn't dead already. Bernstein regained consciousness just in time to die.
Oh my.
Yes, and it means that he could have been killed by anybody who has access to the stage, including you, Johnny.
What does that mean?
We found a copy of Variety with the words cut out of it in the stage manager's office. Your office.
Chris and Olivia have keys as well.
Well then, that makes you three my first official prime murder suspects.
Well, it's an honor just to be nominated.
Well, you're still all murder suspects. I found this little black book in Bernstein's breast pocket. Look familiar? Each page has a little notation written in Bernstein's personal secret code. Obviously a memo as to why each and every one of you was being blackmailed.
No! As in, no, I wasn't being blackmailed. But also as in, no! I've just found more death threats! I'm afraid they're covered in my fingerprints once again.
Oh, that's all right, Miss Harris. You've already proven yourself forthcoming, trustworthy, and just so very honest.
Well, thank you.
Sid Bernstein, end the show or it's the end of you.
Oh no! Sid Bernstein died for nothing. He told me he was going to close the show.
When did he tell you that?
Right in his office before he got hoisted. He said someone just that minute changed his mind about keeping Robin Hood open and said I should save my money for his next Boston show. He also then went up to watch George rehearse a big number. And he also gave me back the very last check I wrote him.
Well, you can give that to me. We are not closing the show. Come on, Olivia, let's put this check in a safe place.
It felt very safe in my pocket.
What's the matter, Lieutenant?
Oh, it's nothing. But I mean, why is it that Bobby?
What?
I mean, out of all those people on the stage, you
All right, Lieutenant. Spit it out.
ought to be in the Fort Henderson Square Dance number.
I beg your pardon?
Why, you'd stop the show. And wouldn't Rob Hood go to the big picnic disguised as Alan Odell?
It makes sense.
And Daryl Greedy of the Globe loved Bobby's dancing.
Bobby, can you improvise for a short term and tie for tonight? Sure, but I don't know if I can make the costume change in time for the next scene.
Well, for gosh sakes, Bobby, all it is losing a bandana and putting on a mask. Would it kill you to try?
Jeremy, tell the cast to change for the Fort Henderson Square Dance number.
Fort Henderson Square Dance number.
And Eric, for the love of Mike, we gotta have that rewrite of In the Same Boat that you promised.
I already did it.
Without me? Yeah, we rehearsed it last night when you were getting fitted.
I think it turned out pretty well.
Well, can I hear it?
Sure. I changed it to Rob Hood and his men of the mighty Colorado. You know, a real He-Man approach to it. Sasha, a quick course of In the Same Boat, please.
Randy, Hart, help me out here.
If you just heard last night, what did you think she was playing?
I wrote a brand new melody that you'll understand.
5, 6, 7, 8, here we are. Raised and we love not only see. All the flames are swinging on each and we regret to say our compass is gone, but somehow we still stay on. Because when we get our best at a song bell, then what the heck is the same
No, believe me, it's a bold attempt. And it's got some of that vim that we've been looking for, but something's still missing.
Well, we've only had half of our songwriting team working on this version.
I'm doing the best I can.
Excuse me, everybody. I just had a thought.
Oh, how long we waited for this day. Well, if we're adding Bobby to the Kansas Land number, it just so happens that he and I have been working on a dance number that's perfect for my St. Louis Sioux character. And him.
It's a sort of country western dance.
So how'd I do for two?
Bobby, you saved us a lot of time and it was ready to go for tonight's performance.
We've only talked it through.
I'm ready.
Carmen, that is the spawn of your loins. Yes or no?
Normally I'd say over my dead body, but I don't want to give anybody any ideas. Sure, let her take a shot at it.
Come on, Georgia. We better go tell the cast.
Aaron, I thought you were going to write us a better version of In the Same Boat.
We just played the new one. Didn't you hear it?
I did. Aaron, I thought you were going to write us a better version of In the Same Boat.
I'm putting In the Same Boat into dry dock for the time being.
Well, Erin, please come back.
Being in theater, you staying here this as well. Elaine, as a Broadway producer, there's something much more important to me than you getting a star turn. What? Me turning a profit. I've never been known as one of those stupid clucks, Elaine.
Bambi.
Who kisses away a lot of her hard-earned bucks, Elaine.
Bambi.
But facing the fact that you're coloring Taurus sucks, Bambi. Though it breaks your mother's heart, forget about the part. It's time for you to know why I really back this show.
with oh yeah, those Russians never pay. So go on, criticize me, please proceed with your attack. It's a business. I put 1 million in and I expect 2 million back. It's a business. So what crime have I committed if I'm putting up a fight? It's a business. And I want to pay you suckers out there giving me the business every night. Am I getting intimidated?
I'm sorry, Mother, but to me the theater's a temple.
So why does it only be filled on Sabbath? Give me a hand, fellas. Very funny, you know what I meant. Back me up. Not for profit theaters, don't make it turn up. That's not business. That's not business. So give them little fun and I teach them once in a while. I do business. Snorking, money misspent. You won't survive, young killer. You'll never get through limbs.
But what about the great cowboys of the stage?
Honey, I put on ice cream cone and nobody came in. Come on, let's show who's head in our lineup. To the stage and to the dresser, to musicians in the pit. It's a business. It's a business. The owner of the premises cleans up if we're a hit. He's in business. He's in business. You'll never come up for free. Hey, Harry on the spotlight, blink twice if you agree. See, I'm naughty boy, the country boy, my feet are on the floor. It's a business. It's a business. To the Kama Sutra with the Richard on the floor. That's good business. That's good business. Green's my favorite color, and I don't need grass. It's a business. And the shoes I business is a business. You look like my business please. So all we have for Strictly business. When I say you don't have what it takes, that's my professional opinion, and I don't care who knows it.
Well, I think my dance number could be very provocative.
Oh, sweetie, the only thing you could arouse is suspicion.
Chris, company's ready to run the square dance.
No joy beyond my wildest dreams.
May I?
Grand Common, how many hours do we have left before we'll be reviewed by, Grady? You're not what I expected, but then I've never actually seen a picture of you.
Complete anonymity is a critic's best tool.
Well, I suppose I shouldn't bite the hand that slaps me, but it's unethical to review our rehearsal.
You forget, I report on theater as well as review it. Your show is news, and I'm setting aside my customary professional distance to interview members of your company. Down at Green Room. With your permission, Miss Bernstein.
Free publicity, Carmen. Poor Sidney. He would have died to get as much press than he did. Green Room's all yours, Grady.
All right, then we'll have the Fort Henderson Square dance number. Badly auditioning a new section with Bobby.
This I've got to see.
Keep all your fingers crossed.
So let's follow the other brick road in the wrong direction, all the way back to Kansas land. Sasha, yee-haw.
Come every second Sunday, opening up throughout the year. The woman's so kept around town, greet the soldiers here.
Please bring that trouble to the middle.
Yeah, that's all these things here.
There ain't no chance of romance in the dance Checker Square. 'Cause in Kansas land,
getting out, including whoever just fired that shot. Did anybody see anything? Bobby, who knew you'd be jumping there when you did?
Well, nobody. I was trying it for the first time. That's some fancy shooting.
Too fancy. Unless you weren't the intended target. Now everybody but Bobby, go back to where you were. And you folks, stay right over there.
Hold on. Aren't we all sitting ducks out here?
Okay, the killer can fire again if he doesn't mind getting caught. Now then, everybody go back to where you were. Guys, what's this post right here? That's right. Alright. And here's where the bullets entered and exited. May have came from out there, may have been intended for you. Randy, why aren't you wounded?
I am. Deep down. You can ask him why.
Are you usually standing here at this point in the number?
No, I moved here to give Bobby room when he jumped.
Alright, then you must have not been the target either. Still following the path of the bullets, it may have been intended for you. Nikki, were you standing here when Bobby got shot?
Oh, I don't know. Is that important?
Well, you quite frankly couldn't have shot yourself, and I could rule you out as the killer.
You hadn't ruled me out already, Lieutenant?
Wait a minute. Bobby, you're holding that handkerchief against your left arm.
Well, it's bleeding.
But that would have been impossible if the shot were to come out from over there, and you were to jump with your right side facing the audience. There's no possible way the bullet could have grazed the left side of your left arm. Guys, wasn't this facing the audience?
Oh, I guess we said the wrong way around.
That's right. That means it's exactly the opposite. So that means that the shot must have been fired from backstage, went through the post, grazed Bobby at the end of his leap, and may have been intended for you.
Me?
Yep, and here's the bullet right here.
But that would mean that the shot was fired.
From somebody who was backstage. Did anybody see anything back there?
I had no idea.
Well, Carmen and Sasha couldn't have quite frankly shot it because they're too downstage. Oh, by the way, don't you think Bobby should do his dance more further downstage?
I was planning on having that same idea.
Well, we're gonna have to search everybody for a gun.
There will be no need for that! She did it!
She did it, she did it, she did it, she did it, that Nikki is freaking and slaying.
Will you all please stop that? Nikki, what are you doing with that?
Oh, well, I found it out. It's an automatic, so I guess it can't be a prop in our Western story. At least my fingerprints won't be all over it this time. There's tape all over the handle and the... Trigger!
Okay.
Don't try to kill you, Frank!
Okay, just hand me the gun very slowly, Nikki.
Well, I have something to say to whenever one of you try to knock me off. Knock it off.
Lieutenant,
Yes, Joni?
we are way overdue for a break.
Oh, sorry, Joni.
Back in 10, everyone were clearing the set.
You're gonna protect me, right, Tommy? There's already been 2 murders committed on the stage.
And 3, if you count the integrity of musical theater.
Listen, Miss Bernstein, you could be surrounded by more police than you are at the moment.
Come on, Mother, you should get something to eat. If you're nervous, I'll taste your food for you.
Have no taste, Elaine. I've seen your makeup and your closet and your boyfriend's. And I've seen a couple of your boyfriends in the closet with your makeup.
You never have a good word to say about me, especially in public. I thought I did pretty good in that last number.
Oh, big deal, considering the 15 years of ballet, jazz, and circus training that I paid for. My professional opinion is that you don't have what it takes. You volunteered for this life, dyed your hair, and changed your name. Why? Of all names on earth, did you pick Bambi?
Because in the movie, Bambi's mother is shot to death by hunters.
Someone just tried to do that to me, sweetheart, and I noticed that nobody's ruled you out. Come on, Olivia, I have keys to the lobby bar. I'll fix us a drink.
Well, despite what your mother says, you're great in the Kansas land number.
Thank you, Lieutenant. I really appreciate that.
No, I'm the one that should be thanking you.
Bambi, your dance really was good.
Yeah, better than I could have ever imagined. Well, it's just like I told you, Bobby. Just give me a chance and I won't let you down.
And don't pay any attention to what your mother says. At least no one can ever claim that you're in this show because of nepotism.
Guess that's pretty obvious. Believe me, Lieutenant, Bambi isn't the girl in this cast that used personal connections to further her career.
What do you mean by that?
Sorry.
Stage manager is equal part psychiatrist, mother hen, and father professor. What anyone in this cast tells me, I consider privileged information. And besides, what I know, Lieutenant, I don't.
Aaron, good. I've been meaning to talk to you three about Bernstein's little black book of blackmail. You see, he has a memo written for each and every cast member with 3 noteworthy exceptions. You, and you. Now then, going by this book, that means that Bernstein had nothing on you. Yet the show's financial budget says that you're getting paid the same. Why are you here toiling for pennies when you'd be doing so much better elsewhere? No one's got anything to say?
Can you blame us? If I recall, one of those threats said, make another sound and you'll end up underground.
Exactly, but Georgia, I never read that particular death threat out loud.
What?
The only people that could have seen that were Nikki and the late Miss Jessica Crenshaw, and of course the person who sent it.
But, well, then I guess Nikki told me.
I told her not to tell anyone.
Oh, I didn't, Frank. I told you I wouldn't, so I didn't.
Well, I'm sorry to say them, George, but I have no choice but to book you under suspicion of murder.
What? No, that's all I say.
Nikki, will you be able to go on with tonight's performance?
Oh, I get it. You're trying to further your little sweetheart's career.
No, I can assure you that my relationship with Miss Harris is purely one of that of a police investigator and a possible murder suspect.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, I'm really liking you, Frank.
Oh, it's reciprocal, let me assure you.
I'm very glad to hear that.
Oh, I'm more than glad. Anyways, I was doing something.
Arresting me for murder?
Ah, why yes! Jessica Crenshaw's death. Oh, and please don't forget what we were talking about. Jessica Crenshaw's death gave you the perfect opportunity to star on a Broadway show. And when Sid Bernstein was going to close the show, his death kept your dream alive. I'm sorry to say it, but Miss Hendricks, you're going to have to come with me.
Wait a second, Lieutenant.
I'm who you want.
You're confessing to the murders, Mr. Fox.
You heard what I said.
That's not a very simple thing to retract.
Think about what you're doing.
I have. This is a great thing that's happened in your life. I'm not important now.
That's very noble, but you're dead set against Georgia taking this role.
No. I only said that because I knew if she took the part, she wouldn't have time to write with me. Be with me. That's how Sydney got me work for nothing. The only way to be near her again. Set her down together, settle over a piano each night. No one would have
But that's how Sydney got me to work on the show, Aaron. I wanted the same thing.
Yeah.
I do.
But you and Bobby.
Forget that.
I didn't want you to. Not until I knew how you felt and you seemed as preoccupied as ever with your music.
Because our songs were one place you and I were still together.
Aaron, you said our song.
Our songs, our
death threat? You showed it to me when you were interviewing me, and you were going to charge me for murder.
Guess the joke's on me.
Lieutenant, I hereby officially unconfess to everything. Except being a fool.
Aaron, our director needs to see you on the double.
I'm excused.
Go.
We'll see you downstairs. Pardon.
Partner. Thanks, Lieutenant. You played your part very effectively.
Oh, what a treat it was to share the scene with you. And a fair exchange, I might add. You got Aaron to show you his hand, and I got the reason as to why both of you work for Sid Bernstein.
You and Georgia staged all that?
Yes, and it was her idea, and a good one, I thought of that. And you've been playing your part too, haven't you, Bobby?
Yeah. I plead guilty to impersonating George's devoted lover.
When we first started rehearsals, I asked Bobby if he'd pretend we were involved again, to see if I could stir up something, anything in Aaron.
Good job.
Thank you. I'm so grateful.
Just a polite reminder, you're still on murder suspects.
Right.
Now then, I may not know why Aaron and Georgia work for Sid Bernstein, but why did you, Bobby?
Well, I've always wanted to give the performance of a lifetime.
Fooling Aaron that you were in love with Georgia?
No, fooling Georgia that I'm acting. There's nothing I would do for her.
Except commit murder.
Even that, if she asked me to.
Frank, so bad. The public should be warned that Cupid is armed and dangerous.
You know what, I believe that romance should be left strictly in the hands of the police.
You mean present company? I'd vote yes on that proposition.
Oh, Miss Harris.
Oh, please call me Frank. I mean, please call me Frank.
Oh, might I be so bold?
I already know you are.
You see, I never believed that whole enchanted evening thing until now. You see, when I first saw you, there was a blue wash on the stage, and I came with a pink special.
It was just like a musical. Oh, Frank.
And I thought to myself, you and I meet a door that follow in every way. Yes, special people doing special things, running things around anywhere. You and I, we just stay. Nikki. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I sure think I am. Come on, Jim!
Oh, Miss Harris, what were you doing just now?
I said it was just like a musical. Oh, Frank.
Oh, and what were you thinking right about now?
Oh, it's silly.
No, go on.
I was imagining we were singing and dancing together like Marge and Gower Champion.
So was I. I was having the same exact fantasy at the same exact time. Marge and Gower Champion. And in your fantasy, who was I?
Gower.
Oh, and so was I mine. And the song that we were singing,
Would make for a great opening number.
I was going to say more of a finale. But, oh,
Frank, the moment I first shook your hand, I said you and I.
shook your hand.
What?
Shook your hand. Miss Harris, it's about time you tell me what Sid Bernstein had on you.
Oh, nothing, really. Unlike the rest of the cast, I want to be here. I've gotten some great reviews here in Boston, but this was my best chance at Broadway.
You know, Joni told me that somebody had used a personal connection to further their career, and that I wouldn't like to know who they were.
Every
She-
show,
She wasn't talking about you, was she?
every show is filled with gossip.
Oh, you're not saying no. Who is it?
I made a promise to someone that I wouldn't tell, and I don't break promises.
You know, next to your name in Bernstein's little black book, you wrote a great big 0.
I'm glad.
Or maybe it was the letter O.
Olivia, the sandwich you ordered is here. For gosh sakes, Nikki, you have to get into costume.
Sorry.
Folks, 5 minutes and we're back on stage to learn and block yet another brand new version of Insane Boat. Thanks, guys.
Joni, if you don't...
Don't talk near my microphone, Lieutenant. When it's turned on, everyone downstairs can hear you.
Joni, if Nikki told you anything, you gotta tell me it now.
In what capacity are you asking that question? Office of the law or jealous boyfriend? Can what I say be held against me, or will you just hold it against me if I say what you don't want to hear?
You know, I'm not done finished questioning the cast, and I'm not finished.
Get the storm drop, will you? Deck it nice and easy. I'm right under it.
Come here, my sweetheart. Come here.
Who's that?
Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you.
Look, this is no kind of joke. We've had 2 people die.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to put a fright into you. Trying to catch poor Ophelia up here. Give us a hand, will you? She chased a mouse into the flies and got stuck amid the lights. I'll put her in a basket just down the stairs.
I said here, Ben. You can take that.
Q59. A drop in planet Earth.
Got away from our genius director again, did you, Ophelia? Oh, come here, kitten. It's all right. Oh, that's funny. I thought you were. Hey, if you're worried, I'm going to tell someone what I know about you.
Because you know all the technical cues to the show.
Then why do you need me?
Because you were the topic of the conversation I last had with her. You see, I don't want to get out of my sight till I figure out her dying message.
Dying message?
Yes, Joni only had seconds to live. She couldn't write and she couldn't speak. Yet she made her way on over to her call book and ripped out these pages on which she'd written a drop in planet Earth.
Well, drop in is simply the term we use for scenery that's sewed up here from the flies.
Exactly. Mountain drops in, skyline drops in.
Mary Poppins drops in.
There's a drop of the earth at the end of In the Same Boat.
There will never be an end to In the Same Boat.
The waves are laughing on, the sharks are snapping along, the thunder's clapping along, just hear it roar.
Listen, they're enhancing the latest version now. Same bloody orchestra of the new melody. Let's connect the entire series.
Wait a minute. Of course, that's it. Joni, we need to get down here fast.
Well, this way. Retreat after me.
Frank, are you coming?
No, you go right on ahead. I'll be right behind you.
Be careful. The killer might realize you're onto him.
You know, while I'm up here, I might as well look at what's the back of this drop. Planet Earth. Nikki? Gee, isn't it amazing how you can be totally stumped by something until it suddenly hits you?
We'll take some down in the world, we'll stay up close, 'cause it's easy to win, take it all, and get better and take
Not bad. We can make that work.
No, this version is no better than any of the others.
This is Coffee's great idea. Where the heck did you get to?
Yeah, something's not right.
Especially with the song.
I'll tell you what's not right. Us singing our merry little heads off when Joni just got killed a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, Joni, Sydney, and Jessica all murdered on this stage. I wonder which one of us gets it next.
I'm sorry I asked. Oh no, it's the killer! Somebody do something fast! What on earth is going on?
No pun intended. Nikki, you must have pushed him.
Look, I think I've solved it, but Eric, I need to see the music for this number, quick.
But there's a copy of the score just off stage. Come on.
He must have fallen off the catwalk while we were climbing back down.
What the heck were you doing all the way up in the flags? I've been asking myself the same question. Nikki, did you see anything up there?
Oh, I don't know. It was so dark. I suppose I might have accidentally unhitched a rope.
It was no accident, but that can wait, because I think I solved it. Now, let me see. Darn it!
Oh, what's the matter, Frank?
I just remembered. I can't read music. But never mind that. Eric, you wrote all 3 versions of it in the same bow to fit the same orchestra part, right?
Right.
Well, then that means that all 3 songs must fit with each other. That's what will give this number the kick in the terrier it's been needing. The whole company singing 3 different songs at the same time. You'll make food for dinner and sound like Bergerac.
But what about the murders?
Oh, will you forget about the murders for 1 second?
But you said you got it. You solved it.
I solved how to sound this number. Now, quick, Jody, bring on the set.
She's dead.
Oh, right, I forgot about that. Well, let's lose this earth and bring on the riverboat. I want Rob Hood and the 3 women on their way to the federal courthouse in Wichita for the farmers lose their land. Is everybody on board with that?
Aye, aye, Captain.
That's Lieutenant. Now then, Sasha.
Ready.
Starts off slow.
In the same boat, on the same sea, shaking inside as the tide keeps rising. Nary a ship, nary a sail, nary a soul on the whole horizon.
Here comes the real sound from the rapids.
Here we are, days and days, all the flames are swinging up before you and we regret to say our first is gone, but somehow we still sail on. Because when we had our best at somewhere around, and what the heck we were saying.
Turning and toiling, hurry and morning. Human toiler, that was the untidy. Chewing our nails, turning that way. Turning out to be on Friday, so we are not disturbing. Into the ancient world that you're likely to win. Take it all on the chin when you hit the same note. The seas unusually rough, the flow is terribly tough. As if that wasn't enough, they lost it all. They learned that all you do to follow the raft where the wheels stop. There's a dump that they don't know where from there.
Congratulations, Choppy, you greatly improved the number, as well as the likelihood I'll be taking credit for it. Great work, Choppy.
I agree. But what about the killer?
Oh, there's got to be something in that clue that Joni gave us. A drop in the planet Earth. The Earth on the stage. The world on the stage.
All the world stage. Shakespeare.
Shakespeare. And these were our actors as they melted into the air. Wait a minute. That's it. Chris!
I did it! Sorry, pure reflex.
final moments just before Jessica Crenshaw took her bow.
The company bows. That's the last thing we need to be rehearsing.
You don't think that I don't know that? Please.
All right, places for the company bows.
Now then, Nikki, I know a way to wrap things up fast, but it might be putting you at some risk.
You do what you have to do, Frank.
Alright. Folks, I have an announcement to make for all the cast and all my men downstairs. Nikki and I just got engaged. Woo! She'll be leading the show at the end of the Boston run to create the role of Miss Lieutenant Frank Chaffee. Joe?
Congrats, Lieutenant.
Thank you. We're very happy. Now then, Carmen, Olivia, Eric, you say you were watching from the back of the house that night. Watch for me. See if you notice anything. Sasha? Who are you? Hard. But what are you doing here? You're in the show.
On the bow, then a quick change into his suit to give Jessica these plastic flowers.
She demanded a bouquet after every performance. She also wanted us to play the Star Spangled Banner to guarantee her a standing ovation.
Yeah, I'll walk down the aisle handing flowers up to Jessica.
So you would change into a suit, hand a bouquet of flowers up to Jessica, and what would she be doing?
Well, she'll be singing.
Did anybody notice anything different on opening night?
Lieutenant, I think when she took the flowers, she moved her hand up to her mouth like she was covering a yawn.
Or as if something had just struck her throat?
So when you put it that way, yeah.
Oh, I saw that too. It happened right after she took the second bouquet.
The second bouquet?
Well, yeah, on opening night, Jessica got 2 bouquets.
Oh, yeah.
The first one from Harv in this aisle, and the second one from someone in that aisle. He was wearing a suit, but the flowers hid his face.
Yeah, I noticed it myself, but I figured Carmen had just hired an extra hand for opening night.
Like just to boost Jessica's ego? Not a chance.
Maybe it was someone who genuinely liked Jessica's performance. I think we can rule that one out.
So that's it. You're killing you about the bouquet of flowers on opening night. Came down this aisle with his own flowers, which hid his face in something as simple as a pellet gun, which he then used to fire that capsule at point-blank range in Jessica Crenshaw's mouth. And that is how your leading lady was murdered in full view of you and your audience.
But that means we're all in the clear.
No, unfortunately, not everyone was on the stage at this moment, Nikki. What were you doing, Miss Belling?
I was taking a walk alone, as you darn well know.
Erin, you say you were watching from the back of the house that night.
Yes, and like every other man on opening night, I was wearing a suit.
And I'll swear I was standing with him the entire time, Lieutenant.
That's all right. Olivia?
I was sitting in the back row of the orchestra with Carmen. She would have noticed if I got up and left. That's right.
That's so very right. That means that there's only one person who has both the perfect opportunity and a powerful motive.
Choppy, somebody hit me.
But if that's Bobby, then who's that?
You're a devoted admirer, Nikki, determined to bring the curtains down on Robin Hood. Because if the show left for Broadway, you'd forever leave a sphere of influence. A sphere represented by a circle next to your name in Bernstein's little black book. A sphere which was the clue that Joni gave us, a planet called Earth, or as Shakespeare put it, the great globe itself. The Boston Globe and its senior critic, Darrell Grady.
Careful, Choppy. No one ever wants to see your face again.
Easy, Darrell.
Easy for you. You're gonna marry her. Heard you say so in the house PA. She loves you. She never loved me.
He was only a friend. He was never more than that.
It was more than that to me. I needed you to stay here where Haley would guide you. This is from musicals where whatever about it. That's what Sid Bernstein said.
Watching the show in previews, you saw a way on how to guarantee that Jessica Crenshaw would never go on to Broadway. And as a critic, you could leave from your seats on opening night without so much as an eyebrow being raised, and retrieve a bouquet of flowers for which you've hidden in the lobby, and come straight on down this aisle and become the ultimate showstopper.
Yes. I'm trying to shoot Carmen and sandbag you. Send my post you closing notices for Jessica and Johnny. And perfect performance on my part. But one learns from one's mistakes. Right, Nikki?
Listen, Darren. I see that you don't have a gun. How far from the theater do you think you can get without one?
Good point. So you're on good now for me.
Wait.
Now.
All right. Just don't hurt her.
Get back.
All right. I'll be taking Nikki from you now.
You already have.
Frank, don't.
Take one step and you're dead. Fine, you're dead.
You see, in moments like this, I always unload the gun in my shoulder holster and put them into this gun right here. Now then, I'll be taking Nikki from you now, Mr. Grady, and I'm putting you under arrest for the crime of murder.
Oh man, my life's gonna be worse.
Detective O'Farrell?
You have the right to remain silent. Everything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Now then, since you're all witnesses to Mr. Grady's confession, I'll have to have all of you head downstairs to the green room and give a brief statement. After that, you only have a few more hours until your new opening night. Sasha, we play now.
We have a date.
Another triumph, Lieutenant. I'll see you back at the station.
Little Sheldon was dying, and now the little Grady away from life.
Yes, and I couldn't have done it without you.
Me?
Yes, you and your daughter. I told her how much she'd shown me in that little square dance number of hers. She was great.
Better than great.
Ah! Finally to hear you say it. You had me as flim-flammed as everybody else. But after watching how really good she was, and then turning to see the pride in your face, I think I figured you out. You see, you tell everybody that it's just business. But I figured you out, Carmen. You're the greatest stage mother of all time. You married Sid Bernstein, and you put up with all of the fairs and shady deals just to get your daughter a chance onto the Broadway stage. And just so that no one could accuse her of getting there on your coattails, you always belittled her talents in public, even if she hates you for it.
You can't tell her. I wanted to leave you out here all on her own.
You're amazing.
But how did knowing that help you catch Grady?
Oh, did I just told you why you murdered your husband.
What? Grady killed my husband.
No, Grady killed Jessica and Joey and tried to kill you because he wanted the show closed. But that's exactly what your husband was gonna do.
Well, then he was killed by somebody he was blackmailing.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm afraid to say that they would have taken his little black book with them. He must have told you he was gonna close the show.
He didn't tell me anything.
Well, he told Olivia, why wouldn't he tell you? You were his partner.
Because the partnership was over. He had himself a conniving little ingenue on Sun Place and I was out on the street.
So he didn't need you.
He didn't need anybody. Grady promised him reviews for the next 3 shows if he shut this one down now.
So you did know that he was going to close the show?
No!
Then how did you know the terms of the deal for which he struck with Grady minutes before he was killed if you weren't the last person to see him alive?
Because he laughed at me. He laughed at me in Elaine like we were nothing. No more shows, no more dreams after all that I had to put up with from him.
And
I killed him.
of course.
So what happens to me now, Lieutenant?
Well, you lashed out at your unfaithful, blackmailing husband when he told you that your daughter wouldn't get the chance for which he'd sacrificed everything. A good lawyer might get you a few years on a reduced charge. A great lawyer might get you an all-expense-paid weekend in sunny San Diego, but you'll still have to stand trial.
I know.
You know what? How about this? How about we build up your daughter's part some more, add another song or two for Nikki, and I don't solve your part of the mystery until after the show opens up on Broadway.
You do that? Frank, give me that and I'll let you walk me straight out of the cast party at Sardi's and into police headquarters.
Well, until then, I'll have you watch day and night.
But if the show goes to New York, what about you and Nikki?
Oh, there's always a place on the NYPD for a Boston police officer who doesn't mind a cut in rank and pay.
You know what, Trophy? I think you're one of us. There's a special kind of people known as show people.
We live in a world full of dreams. Sometimes we're not too certain what's false and what's real, but we're seldom in doubt about what we feel.
Your experience with the Sultan battery. I'm afraid Bobby may need some first aid. He's a bit wobbly on his feet from getting hit on the head by Grady.
Oh, let me take a look at him.
We've only hours before the curtain goes up and I'm afraid he may not rise to the occasion.
Oh, don't worry, Chris. The cries of places everyone will be like smelling salts to any trooper. The orchestra playing its overture will be pure adrenaline. His aches will be bathed in the warmth of the spotlight. His spirits lifted by the hands of an adoring throng, whose applause will sustain him right up to the very last scene of Robin Hood.
Thank you.